Going to fade it out and kick off the show today. Welcome to the Short Time Wrestling Podcast, a rare live episode. I am your host, Hall of Fame wrestling writer, broadcaster, and announcer Jason Bryant, live from the Speakeasy in really frigid New Brighton, Minnesota. Yesterday, it got down to it was cold. So it was nice and warm because you missed my weather tweets. I don't do weather tweets anymore because if this, then that broke them. You got to pay more for that now. And, well, I get the weather on my watch. So right now it's 16 degrees. Tomorrow it'll be 60. Tomorrow, though, I will be in Park City, Kansas, talking about the topic of today's show. Before we get started, this is the start of my championship weekend. The next 4 weeks, I will be at the NAIA Men's Championships. Then I'll be at the Big Ten Championships. Then I'll be in La Crosse, Wisconsin at the Division III Championships, finishing up the college regular season, at least for me on my announcing schedule, at the NCAA Division I Championships in Kansas City. 21 years since we've been in KC. That was actually my second one ever, was in 2003. My first D1 championships was in 2002. Today on the show, I am going weight by weight with the NAIA Men's National Championships. This will be the 9th time I've announced the event. I've been covering it in person since 2012. It is one of my favorite events because it is unpredictable. I love the Division III Championship for the same reason, and the NAIA is getting to the point where one seeds are going to fall in the first round. 1 and 2 seeds are going to get beat. This year, we're going to a 3-day tournament. I'll get into might as well just jump right into that. So we'll jump in. I even did some extra visual aids for you this year. So jumping ahead, the Men's Wrestling National Championships back in Park City, Kansas, just north of Wichita, Hartman Arena. And I've got to be careful because I always say Newman Arena, but Newman University is in Wichita. It's Hartman Arena in Park City, Kansas, just north, straight up the interstate. It takes maybe 5-10 minutes from where we stay in downtown Wichita to head there. One thing I'm also looking forward to is Mark Burchard and the crew at the NAIA. We got Teresa Magnuson and Jerry Middleton and everybody, Jeff Melton, the people that are working this tournament, man. It's so much fun. I get to announce it with Dort Mayab, so my Hazard's my brother from another mother. Dort's I don't know. We got to come up with a saying for sisters. But anyway, I look forward to this as a kickoff each and every year to my postseason. This being an Olympic year, it's going to be really busy. So in case you don't know much about the NAIA, it is the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. It has been around since the 1920s. Wrestling began in 1958. Grandview I've got that messed up already. They've got 11 titles. They're going for 12. So let's do the whole screw up the visual aids already. Grandview's got 11 titles. They're going for 12 this year. Ooh, that's going to look bad on me right now. Teams can qualify up to 12 wrestlers, 2 max per weight. 55 teams have qualified this year. It's a 3-day tournament. We got 280 wrestlers in the field, 28 per weight. And then we've got 8 conferences. Qualifying method is based on ratings and rankings. Then 30 at-larges are selected. Then that's how we get the 280. So moving forward, Grandview's Isaiah Llewellyn this year. He is going to try to become a 5-time place winner. Of course, interestingly enough, the NAIA's wrestled in 2020 before the COVID shutdown. So they didn't have the All-American in name from the NWCA. They actually have place winners and All-Americans, so they've got that there. 4 wrestlers, Llewellyn, Bryce Nickel, Andreas Bond, and Joshua Isaac, are wrestling in their 5th championships coming up. 6 wrestlers trying to become 4-time All-Americans. Brandon Orm from Life, Carson Taylor from Grandview, Cole Smith from Cumberland University, Owen Brongart from Grandview, Greg Hagan from Grandview, and Zane Lanham from Life. 6 champs from 23 return, Brandon Orm, Brevin Balmaceda from Life, Sal Silver from Southeastern, Rice and Leong from Menlo, Brongart, and Hagan. We've got 2 champs from 2022. Those are Cole Smith and Zane Lanham. And Lanham actually beat a champ in the finals to win that title. And the 2 champs in 2021, Orem, who won and then lost and then won again, and Andreas Bond, who won it for Southeastern, unseeded that year. So that was another part of that crazy hijinks that goes along with it. 14 wrestlers in the field have won championships at the NAIA, NJCAA, or California Community College level. William Woods University has a freshman, Ian Nelson. He's the first wrestler in school history to qualify for the tournament, as this is their program's first year. And we've got a number of schools looking for their first All-Americans in school history. Right there on the screen, we've got them. Avila, Central Baptist, Friends, which is in Wichita, Midway, Rio Grande, Rio like Ohio, as Coach Jason Schreier told me, Rochester, the one in Michigan, Texas Wesleyan, and the aforementioned William Woods. Also, there have been 8 four-time national champions in the NAIA. Last year, we almost had the 9th, but Batterdine Boldman was upset in the semifinals by Shea Ruffridge from Grandview. Not only did it stop Boldman from winning a 4th title, it actually ended his win streak at 100 in a row. It was something I was tracking all last year. Last year we had Yanni Diakomahalis from Cornell and Bagi, as they call him, he's Mongolian, with these massive win streaks. And, Yanni's ended early. Bagi's went right through the NCAA semifinals. And what was a crazy match, if you go up and look that match up on YouTube or Flow, you can find the sequence. It was a reversal. It was a takedown late, then a reversal like at the buzzer. It was nuts that Ruffridge beat Batterdine Bagi Boldma in such a manner. So Gray Simons, who, again, you guys know I did not wrestle in college, but Gray Simons, I call him my college coach because he was the coach at Old Dominion University where I attended, and he's a guy that introduced me to a lot of the knowledge of the sport. I always joke that Gray farts more wrestling knowledge than I will ever know. Jerry Swope, his teammate at Lock Haven, a 4-time champion. Jim Hazewinkle, yes, those Hazewinkles from St. Cloud State, school I know pretty well these days. They were in the NAIA back in the day. That is Sam's uncle. Yeah, Dave is Sam's dad. Jim is Sam's uncle. Bob Molly, who was an Olympian and a Canadian Football League Hall of Famer, I believe for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, from Simon Fraser, which is up in British Columbia, which, in case you didn't know, is in Canada. Justin Abdu from Simon Fraser as well. Turk Lords from Montana State Northern. Brock Gutchis from Southern Oregon. And most recently, Evan Hansen. No, not the Broadway name, but Evan Hansen from Grandview was the most recent 4-time champion. Team championship says we've got 20 different schools. As I said, I screwed up already on the graphic. Grandview's 111. You see a lot of Division II, schools that are currently in Division II, reclassified from the NAIA back in the early 90s. So you're then known as Central State, Central Oklahoma, Adams State, those were hammers. Sad thing about Lindenwood is they're dropping wrestling among 10 sports. So enjoy your anonymity in the world of college athletics, Lindenwood University. Lock Haven back in the 60s. Southern Oregon, which is one of the oldest programs in the country and the oldest NAIA program in the country. Of course, you got Bloom, Missouri Valley, under their new leadership this year as Mike Mockholt stepped down and retired. Central Washington. Then we've got the one-offs. When we say Minnesota State, we mean the one in Mankato. Notre Dame College, the one in Ohio. Dana College, which is now closed. Steve Costanzo won that title before he went to St. Cloud. Findlay, which is now Division II. Eastern Washington doesn't have a program. Life won a title a couple years ago. Minnesota State Moorhead, Nebraska Omaha, and what was then known as Western Montana, but is now the University of Montana Western, actually tied that year. So tournament notes, here is how the conferences qualified. And, of course, we're going to have to get an Oiler in there. It's like, yep, Joe Caprino, thank you for watching. He is also an Oiler, a Roughneck, whatever you want to call him, the current Division II University of Findlay. Actually, trivia question. The only Division I head coach who went to University of Findlay, Northern Illinois' Ryan Ludwig. So go Findlay. Yeah, there you go, Joe. Here's what we've got as far as conference qualifiers. I talked about it. Here's how many each conference got per weight class. You see they all equal 28. You see that the American Midwest and the Sooner, they kind of combined to create a conference. The Appalachian Athletic Conference, which is what ranges from West Virginia down to Florida. The Cascade, which is in the western part of the country, Montana, California, Oregon, Washington, that area. The Great Plains Athletic Conference, which is in the Upper Plains, as is the Heart of America, which kind of runs from Iowa and Missouri in that area. The KCAC, which, in case you don't know what the K means, that's Kansas. Most of the schools there in Kansas. The Mid-South, not to be confused with Mid-South Pro Wrestling from back in the day. Yes, Tommy. Yes, I'm balding. So you see if I get blood round up on the website today. Mid-South, which is not the pro wrestling. And then the WHAC, the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference up there in Tommy Bloodround country. Seeds and such. Grandview and Life have qualified 12 each, and they are all seated in the top 16. Menlo qualified 10. They are also all seated in the top 16. Grandview has 5 number 1 seeds. Life has 3 number 1 seeds. And I ran the point placement based on tournament values. How close is this team race going to be? Well, for third and below, it's going to probably be pretty tight, but we expect it to be a 2-team race between Grandview and Life as their total points even up at 113. Like, they are projected point totals without falls, just placement points, projected to both have 113 points. We know when the first whistle blows, that will go out the window. Doane and Southern Oregon also have number 1 seeds, and 72 wrestlers of the 280, 25% of the field, has placed at a college national, or at least in the California cases, a tournament of that stature. So that's where we are with the seeds and such. Give you a quick rundown of the history. Now I'm going to switch it up to the fun part, the brackets. Going to draw up ye old qualifier information. I got this sheet. Again, I run a ton of stuff, but up on the screen, we'll switch over to our brackets. And I've got the wrestlers highlighted on screen here. If you're watching on the video, if you're listening via the podcast, there is a YouTube element to this, or a Twitter or a Twitch. So, by the way, if you're watching, be sure to drop a comment. Unlike Tommy Bloodround, who complete jerk about it. Anyway, here we've got our brackets at 125 pounds. Aiden Reeves is the top seed. He's out of Grandview. That name sounds familiar. He's a transfer from Iowa State. Now, in this weight class, we have a number of returning All-Americans. They are highlighted in red. The number 2 seed, Brandon Orem, is a 2-time national champion. He has gone first, second, first. He's the 2 seed. The 3 seed, Hunter Sparks of Eastern Oregon, was a runner-up last year. We've also got the number another name you might jump out at you is Nico Aguilar from Menlo. Yep, he was a guy from Rutgers. You might remember that name. Other All-Americans in the field, Brody Gee from St. Mary. He is not actually an All-American. I actually got to sort that incorrectly. So let's sort this properly before I sound stupid. So Trevor Marsman from Cornerstone, he was their first All-American in school history. He's the 6th. Connor Diamond from Lindsey Wilson was 8th last year. He is the 7. Aguilar, aforementioned. Unseeded All-Americans, Chad Budasil, he was a junior college All-American at Indian Hills, as was Clarence Lee Green from Lindsey Wilson. He was a junior college All-American at NAIA, that's North Iowa Area Community College, and one of the few from Virginia. So shout out Princess Anne Cavaliers. Clarence Lee Green there at 125. You see how it stacks up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them at the bottom. Up top, Aiden Reeves, of course, he's got some D1 experience, as does Austin Franco, the number 9 seed. He started his career at Michigan State. So this one is, Sparks is scrappy. He actually started his career at Life, so he could have Orem in the semis. Again, I'm going to say if seeds hold, because seeds just, they're nuts. Are they going to hold in this? I don't know. That's the thing. So I'm just giving you names to keep an eye out for as we get to them. So let's select all. Let's clear this up. Let's make it a little easier. We'll jump to 133 now that my format, like I said, I haven't done live in a while. We'll go to 133. And up on the screen, Tarson Taylor, who is a 3-time All-American. He is the top seed. Javon Garcia of Menlo, he is your number 2 seed. He is a multiple-time All-American. He's actually placed at the NCWA. He was a runner-up in 2021 for Grays Harbor, which is in Aberdeen, Washington, which is truly on the muddy banks of the Wishkah. If you are a Nirvana fan, you'll get that reference. He was a junior college champion out southwestern Oregon, then finished 7th last year at Menlo. So he is your number 2 seed. Sammy Shires, returning All-American from Cumberland University. There are 2 Cumberlands. There's Cumberland University in Lebanon, Tennessee, and then there's the University of the Cumberlands, which they are the Patriots. That is in Williamsburg, Kentucky. So you will see on the brackets Cumberland and Cumberlands. I will always put them as U of the Cumberlands just to create a separation. Cumberland University, in case you're wondering, is the Phoenix. Thaddeus Long, a junior college national champion last year at Carl Albert State, which is in Oklahoma. He is the number 4 seed. Other names in the mix there, Alex Pena, the number 10 seed from Wayland Baptist. He was 6th back in 2021 at this weight class. So other names to jump out that you may recognize, Jackson Cockrell's the number 5 seed. He started his career at Maryland. Dominic Chavez, the number 6. He is out of Texas Wesleyan. He started his career at Presbyterian. So those are the names you're looking for at 33. Taylor, of course, he's been really rock solid. His entire career has gone 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So he's gone 4-3-2. Can he pull a Sonny Abe? Can he go 4-3-2-1? That's something you got to keep an eye out. So 3 NAIA returning All-Americans in the bunch here. We move to 141 pounds. And Evan Potter is one of the 2 wrestlers not from Life in Grandview who are seeded number 1 from Southern Oregon. Potter finished 3rd last year at 133 pounds. He was 6th the year before as a 2-time All-American. The number 2 seed is Logan Wagner from Marion. That is in Indianapolis, Indiana. He's coming in 27-4. Now, also, if you're looking at the brackets, the one thing that is a little off on these, the records are pretty close. The years in school are not. So I did a lot of extra deep dives on that. So there's a lot of those seniors that are going to be a little bit dicey to try to figure out on when we do the senior send-off with me and Dort at the end of the tournament. Tyree Johnson from Life, he was a junior college All-American at Triton. He is the number 3 seed, the number 4 seed. Nick Yancey from Campbellsville. And before we go any further, just, thoughts are with the entire Campbellsville wrestling community. The tragedy that happened there with the loss of Josiah Kilman earlier this week, late last week, that it really is. It's one of those things that you don't really have words for when it happens. And if you're unfamiliar with that situation, just know that Coach Frankie James is one of the most upstanding people I've ever met. I've known him back from his days at VMI and when he was coaching at Chattanooga, and he has been building that Campbellsville program from the ground up. And it's one of those guys that first class. I've got a Campbellsville hat around here somewhere. He's somebody that really cares about kids, and I know this is hurting the entire Campbellsville community. So I want to send my thoughts, and my thoughts are with Frankie, the staff, the family, everybody that's associated with that program. It's going to be a tough week because this happened right heading into nationals, and without a doubt, those wrestlers are going to be impacted by this. As we move on, the number 5 seed is Cale Brisker from Southeastern University. He's an Iowa native. Adrian Ayala, the 6th. Other All-Americans to keep an eye on here. You got Cade Mannion, the number 7 seed from Oklahoma City. He actually started his career at Little Rock. Also down there is Creighton Bauman from Concordia, which is the one in Nebraska. He's the number 10, so they could meet early on, the 7 and 10 with All-Americans. And then Brett Miner from Life. He was a junior college runner-up back at Iowa Central in 2021. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wrestlers with All-American honors here at 141. 149, ooh, yep. We start to get thicker here at 149, and I'm not talking about body weight or anything. It's just we're going to get some heavy hitters here. Blake Gonzalez, the number 1 seed, was 3rd last year. Junior college national champion back in 2020 for Northeastern Oklahoma A&M and Coach Joe Renfro. They are the Golden Norsemen, by the way. Your top seed, just 1 loss on the season there. Nathan Lent from Doane is the number 2, returning All-American. He was 6th last year, also a 2-time place winner at the NJCAA from Ellsworth. Another name of note is your 3 seed. He's a transfer from Wyoming. That's Chase Zalman from Missouri Valley, so getting that extra year there. He's the 3. So he's not highlighted on this sheet, but again, the 3 seed down there with Jace Luchow, Victor Guzman, Bryce Nickel, Nathan Lent. So there's 4 All-Americans on that bottom half, not counting Zalman. Parker Dabraki, the 1 Minnesota kid, in the draw for the NAIA. He's at Southeastern down in Florida. Dabraki from Anoka. Yep, another reference. That's 2 Anoka references already. So Hayeswinkle was the other. So then the number 5 seed, as I'm jumping around here, is Jack Latimer from Cumberland University. Now, he was an All-American a couple years ago at Arizona Christian, was their first All-American in school history. And then when Coach Travis Patrick left to go to Southeastern, Latimer transferred to Grandview. Didn't make the tournament last year. I believe he got hurt. Don't hold me to that. But then got another shot at it as the number 5 seed at Cumberland University. So Gonzalez and Latimer could be a salty semi, but that Latimer-Dabraki match, 4-5 in the quarters, could also be one of those things that's like, yeah, because, I don't want to look ahead too far with this stuff because, honestly, it's too unpredictable because I know Dabraki took an early loss last year. And also, I got to give a shout to a guy that I've known for a very long time. It's been friendly. He's been a pain in the butt, but he's ultimately been a friend of wrestling. Richard Rockwell. Yep. Your boy AJ's in there at the number 14 seed for Eastern Oregon. Yeah. So Rock and I go way back. It's weird seeing his kids in college and beyond now. So, yep. Rock, you get the shout out here. We're going to see you at Nationals too. But again, going back to some of these names here, Jace Luchow. Yeah, that's the same one who won Fargo, went to Fresno State, has had stops at Life and Iowa Central as well. So Victor Guzman, NJCAA All-American back in 2021 for Indian Hills. Other D1, we got a D1 transfer in here, Dawson Bates from Reinhardt. He started his career at App State, and Austin Allmeger from St. Mary started his career at Campbell. So there's some definite names that people might recognize here. Now, moving to 157, holy buckets. This is the weight that is by far just massive. You've got 3 national champions in this weight class. Brevin Balmaceda is the returning champion. But he's up a weight class. So he's returning champ at 149, moving up to 157. The returning champ is Sal Silva from Southeastern. He won it in 2021 at 149, then won it last year at 157, placed fifth in between. And then you've also got, where do you go? Andreas Bond from Southeastern. Yeah. So, wait. Yeah. Southeastern University has 2 national champions at this weight class, and they're not the 1 or 2 seeds. So, Balmaceda is the 1 seed. Antoine Burns from Campbellsville, he is the 2 seed. David Rubio from Corbin, who was a finalist last year at 165, has made the drop down to 157. He is the 3. Kanapono Tapia of Menlo, I'm going to have to get some work on that one. He was a junior college All-American at North Idaho. He's your 4. Silva's the 5. Dylan Witt from Grandview is the 6. Nate Wheeler from Indiana Tech is the 7. And Keegan Luton from Oklahoma City University, All-American. I mean, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys in this weight class that have legit chops. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a lot. 57 is going to be loaded. This is the one to watch right off the bat. Looking at the first round, right off the bat, Wheeler and Juan Lopez. Juan Lopez out of Graceland. They are the Yellow Jackets, in case you're wondering. Juan Lopez was a California Community College runner-up at Mount San Antonio College back in 2021. Went to Vanguard and is now at Graceland. And Mount San Antonio College, coached by David Rivera, the brother of one Manny Rivera, who you may remember from University of North Dakota State and Bakersfield. So 57 is loaded. Moving to 165. You know what? I'm going to take a quick breath here before I get to 165. Whew. Check the chat to see what we've got going on. Anything in the chat? Yeah, we got some spam. So let's just let's ban that one. We're going to ban that. We're going to bring Tommy's going to thank Marsman out of Cedar Springs, Michigan. Yes. Andre Metzger. Yes. Thanks, Tommy, for jumping in on that. And then I want to thank my man, Tom Elling. Back in the day, wrestled at Lock Haven in the NAIA, and Tom actually helped me contribute to the Gray Simons documentary that I've been working on, and as my car is now probably ready from the dealership. So that's what we've got going on. So thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Tom, for jumping in to our live broadcast here. So let's move along to 165. And this one, not as stacked, was Stephen Villalobos from Life. He is the top seed, returning All-American. He was 7th last year. Ryson Leong is the returning national champ. He's the number 2 seed. Shadrick Sloan's the 6th, returning All-American. Matt Jenkins of Reinhardt, the number 8 seed, also past All-American, as is Elliot Rogers, the 16. So Villalobos and Rogers, that's a 116. That's round 2, should they both get there, barring some crazy upsets. So that's one to really keep an eye on early, because Marion's got some scrappers. I mean, they've got some tough kids. That's one of those things, when you see a Marion singlet, you're going to be in for a bit of a battle. So it's one of those things, you may not always, they may not always win those matches, but they're going to definitely bring the fight to you. So that's one thing I've noticed over the years about Marion. Other names to keep an eye on here, obviously, Jonathan Curvin, Indiana Tech's number 2. KC Rock's son, that's Keller Rock. He is the number 4 seed. He's in the bracket as Turner Black, but they call him O'Brien Black. He is the number 5 seed. So, and Jordan Comack out of Providence, he is actually, he's trying to finally get on the podium. He has been to the tournament now 5 times, so he is looking to finally place for the first time. Jordan Comack from the University of Providence, which used to be known as the University of Great Falls. So 165, looking at that draw, there's some early round matches. Trace Braun's one to keep an eye. That 5-12 with Braun and Turner Black, or O'Brien Black, is going to be a good one too. And then 8-9, you've got Comack sitting there with Matt Jenkins or Tommy Wentz. Jenkins the 8 seed. So moving on to 174. Riley Smucker, who started his career in the Division I world at App State and Cleveland State. He was the 3rd place finisher last year. He is the 1 seed. Cole Smith, looking to be a 4-time All-American. He is a 4-time qualifier, has placed 3rd, 1st, and 3rd the last 3 years at Cumberland University. He started his career at that place in Norfolk, so he's one of the last guys from the Monarch Gang or Don't Bang crew. So, yep, he's out there. We've still got Shannon Hanna out there wrestling for Campbell. And Alex Kramer at Central Michigan. Jacob Bullock is at Indiana. But in the NAIA, we've got Cole Smith, the last of the Monarchs there. So, again, Monarch gang or don't bang. Number 4 seed is Nakota Siegel, returning All-American. Brendan Parks from Missouri Valley he's unseeded, but if we look up where Mr. Parks is from Moval, he was a junior college All-American in 2022 at 157 pounds for Harper College, or as it's formally known as William Rainey Harper in the Chicago area. So Ledra Petrusek from Menlo, the number 15 seed. He's an All-American there from the junior college ranks, coming from North Idaho up in Coeur d'Alene. So Willie lives there. I think Willie lives in Coeur d'Alene. I don't know. We got to figure out where Willie lives. Actually, I really don't, because I always all the stuff he gets in mail goes to Easton. So that's where we got there. Other names that'll jump out at you on this page. Alex Hernandez started his career at Little Rock. Graham Calhoun started his career at Wisconsin. Those are the only other Division I guys that you may have heard of. Of course, Siegel started his career at Campbell before heading back to the Pacific Northwest, or Montana. I don't know. Montana, did they say... That's Big Sky Country. They don't say Pacific Northwest. That's Big Sky Country. I've seen enough Yellowstone. Hey, bartender, a couple Yellow Jackets. Anyway, that being said, having a lot of fun here. Next up, we go to 184 pounds. Let me switch off of my cheat sheet and move the brackets. 184. Isaac Llewellyn, we mentioned him. He started his career at Fort Hays State, then to Baker. He has been a 5-time qualifier. He's a 4-time All-American. So he's gone 4th, 5th, 3rd, 2nd. So he's looking for his first title. It's been rather elusive. Kyle Homet of Life is the number 2. J.D. Perez, returning All-American from Ottawa, is the 3. Other All-Americans. Tyson Boperthy from Doane. He was a finalist a couple years ago for Midland. Kyle Knutson from Eastern Oregon. He is your number 8 seed. He was 4th back in 2022. Hayden Wempen was a junior college All-American before transferring to Morningside College. And Jameel Coles is another name to keep an eye on. He's the number 10 seed from Grandview. He was a junior college national champion for Northwest Tech in Canada. In Kansas. No, there's a Division II school in Canada, but there are no NJCAA schools that I know of in Canada. So pardon me there. Other name to interesting here, both qualifiers from Northwestern College in Orange City, Iowa. They are the Red Raiders, not the Northwestern with the Midlands, but the Coach Rick Dahl's Red Raiders, which I always think is funny, which is in Orange City, Iowa. Luke Janess and Jacob Frankson Small, they're both at this weight class, and Janess is making his 5th trip to the tournament, just like Jordan Comack, looking for his first placement. So if you want a sentimental favorite, look at maybe the Northwestern College kids. So again, I am an impartial observer, as I'm the tournament announcer. I don't care who wins. I just want to see good competition. So, but if you're looking for a story to follow to see if somebody can finally break through, Comack and Janess would be 2 of those wrestlers that you might want to keep an eye on. 4-time qualifier Brett Bobert is the 13 seed from Baker. So I'm looking at this one. This is William Spate, the 4 seed from Lourdes. 4-5. Yeah, this is Austin Vanek, number 15 seed. He was 7th back last year at 184 pounds. So 197 pounds. This one's also got a little bit of firepower to it. As your top seed is Bradley Antisberger from Doane. He is undefeated, a 4-time qualifier. Interestingly enough, he started his career in the NCAA at a school then known as Dixie State. Now it's known as Utah Tech. They had an NCAA team, and they were a pretty organized NCAA team. He was 3rd then and transferred with his brother to Doane. His brother was Brandon. He's finished 4th and 3rd. He is the top seed. DeMarco Lee from Life is the number 2 seed. Junior college All-American on 2 occasions, again at William Rainey Harper. Your number 3 seed is returning national champion Owen Brongart from Grandview. He started his career at Missouri Baptist, where he was an All-American back in 2020. So he's gone 3rd, 5th, 1st. So those are your top 3. Nathan Critchfield from Indiana Tech is your 4. Sawyer Hobbs Providence is 5. He's also All-American. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of your top 5 seeds are NAIA All-Americans. DeMarco Lee, again, was junior college. Also got Malachi Karibo from Baker. He's an All-American at your 7 seed. Another All-American sitting there, Tucker Tomlinson, your number 9. He was an All-American back in 2023. And 2020 was a junior college All-American, junior college national champion at Western Wyoming. Actually spent a little bit of time at the University of Wyoming as well. Other All-Americans to keep an eye on. You got Elijah Hines from Missouri Valley and Nico Perovic, who placed at Williams Baptist prior to coming to Lindsey Wilson. So another junior college All-American down there is John Lovett from Reinhardt, who placed at Iowa Central. And he is going to get Critchfield right off the bat. So you see the draws there on your screen. I'm looking at that 512, that 13, the 413, that quadrant right there. There's 4 guys that have been on podiums there. So that's one to look at 197. Now moving to heavyweight, we got a couple giants. Now Greg Hagan might be the current wrestler outside of Division I that I would absolutely not want to ever wrestle in my life. Returning national champion. He's been a 3-time finalist. He's gone second, first, top seed. Guy is just freaking gigantic. Like, and he's got these big imposing tattoos too. It's like he literally is between him and previous Grandview heavyweight Dean Broghammer, no, guys I don't ever want to tie up with. So stay away. Anyway, KC Boudet from Providence is your number 2 seed. He's a 2-time All-American already, finishing 7th and 4th. Zane Lanham, who is a returning champion. He was 3rd, 1st, and 2nd down at 197. He came back second semester. He is the number 3 seed. Gabe Jacobs is another wrestler to watch. He was 3rd back in 2023. He is the number 4 seed. Joshua Isaac, a 2-time All-American, was actually Mike Mackholtz's last All-American before Mackholtz stepped down after the 2022 season. He's a Virginia guy too. Woodbridge, Potomac Senior. Yep, that's what we got there. Another name people might recognize is Hunter DeYoung from Morningside. He started his career out at Iowa State. So, Lanham, Boudet down on the bottom side, navigates that, and then Hagan and Jacobs is, it's one of those things that's, heavyweights. Sometimes it's a one shot. Even, again, these are guys I do not want to see ever, like in a bar fight, unless they're buying. But hey, we're not to that point in the discussion yet. So that's what I've got when it comes to the NAIA preview. Looking at the weight class. Oh, that's the wrong screen. I hit the wrong button. You know what? Hey, sometimes when you do things live with one person, that's what you got. So little information on the tournament itself. It starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Every session starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's not going to be a long day. We had 280 entries over a 2-day period last year. That was nuts. So 10 a.m. doors open at Hartman Arena. Live scoring and brackets on trackwrestling.com. Let's see. What else do I need to look at? Doors open at 5. Second session is at 6. Then day 2, which is in officially March because we start it on a leap day tomorrow. 11 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And then where we got the blood round. Yep, blood round at 6 o'clock on Friday night. That one is, it's gritty in the NAIA too, because sometimes when you get teammates wrestling each other in the blood round, like, could you imagine? Yikes. And the final day, 11 o'clock, with the consolation medal matches. And then we come back at 7 o'clock for team championship finals. Parade starts at 6:30. So that is what I've got for the NAIA preview. I'm going to leave the horn open. If anybody's got any comments or questions, be sure to drop them in the chat. For those of you listening after the fact, not like I can do that with you now, but anyway, let's take a look at, I got anything over here? Yeah. Nothing in the chat over here. We're checking at checking the Discord. All right, we're good. So that's what I've got for you now. Hope you enjoy the NAIA National Championships. I'll be there again on the mic with Dort Mayab, February 29th, March 1st, March 2nd, NAIA.org. And then, of course, all the information on trackwrestling.com. That has been my short run through. Actually, not really that short, but again, 72 freaking guys have medaled at a tournament. This is going to be a fun tournament. I'm going to enjoy it and looking forward to it. So as always, I'd like to thank you for spending your time with me, because you've always got time for a short time.